Hola, shalom, buenas noches. I'm very happy that I'm here in Uruguay. There are not so many countries, soy no habla español. Escuchar muy bien, but no speaking. I cannot say of many places in the world that this is my first time. And I want to start by saying that this is my first time in Uruguay, and I found a beautiful country. I didn't know that it is so beautiful. And then I came to Punta del Este. I found the best chipito, how do you call it, and all the other good food. So I thank very much, first of all, to the young entrepreneurs, to Pablo, to Sergio, to Ariel, that brought me here together with the Embajada de Israel, Ambassador Nina, and Ariel, and all the rest. You know, Israel is a startup nation. There is a book, well-known book, also in Spanish, which I recommend each one of you to read. If you will read it, you understand all our secrets. Why a small country like Israel is affecting so much the world. And I was so surprised. I came to Punta del Este. I heard about Punta Tech. And suddenly I saw 3 startup people, young people, Sergio and Pablo and Ariel, that they should get a lot of applause from you because 9 years they are having this Punta Tech, which I believe is a big success. So I thank you very much because I think you are doing a great job. So I'm going to speak a little bit about cyber, but please give me the light because I want to see the audience. Why I would like to see the audience? Because when I came here and some of the people, and now I have many good friends, new friends as well, came to me and say, what are you going to talk? I said, I'm going to speak about cyber. I said, oh, it is so scary. So I'm an Israeli guy, I don't look scary. I hope so at least. But I wanted you to know that cyber is not scary. Why? Because we are all living in a cyber space. If I would ask any one of you what is cyber, I will get many, many questions. Can you make the light? Or ask somebody to put the lights? So I'm not going to ask you what is cyber, because we are living in the age of cyber. Everything that is connected to the internet is cyber. And whenever it is connected to the cyber, my main topic today is awareness. What should we do in order to make sure that there is no scary things while talking about cyber? Yes, I will give you some scenarios that you are all going to like. I came to Punta del Este. I was going next to the beach. I saw many cars with the license plate Argentina. So I said, how many people are here from Argentina? Did you come by car? Anybody came by car? Some of you. So I hope that you all know that your car is not secured, meaning that it's so easy just to go for one of the sensors, and I'll give you one example only because I want you to get back happily. Later I'll speak about those guys who are going back with their airplanes. But whenever you are coming with a car, usually in the new car, what do you have? You have a sensor showing you when you don't have an air in the wheels, when you have a puncture. Am I right? It is an orange color. Do you know how does it work? It works on Bluetooth. So you just need to take a small system based on Bluetooth, and I take out all the air from your tires, and you make an accident. But this is nothing, because where are we living today? We are living on an age which is going to be the autonomous vehicles. What is an autonomous vehicle? A guy from Uruguay is going to visit his family in Argentina. He is reading the newspaper. He is happy. Suddenly, he looks to the right, he looks at the left, he sees other autonomous cars are moving 200 kilometers an hour, and then his car started to go also 200 kilometers an hour. He wants to stop, but it is an autonomous car. He wants to stop, then he pushed the brake because he's underconscious, and nothing is happening. Meaning, what are we talking about? We are talking about a new era which is fully connected to the internet. How do we connect to the internet? We are connected via our computer at home. This is old thing. We are connected via this small thing called the smartphone. Yeah, everybody has it, I believe. Yes, this is much stronger than the computer took the first people to the moon. And all your life are here. I hope you all know it. You know when you are going to know it? Whenever you are going to leave it or to lose it, and you will see that you don't have any backup. Now let's go a little bit more than that. Let's go and see about business. And first of all, I have to give you two good news. I mean, one good, one not so good. The first good news is that cyber is a business. And I heard about 2021 Uruguay, and Uruguay is a big service country. Let's deal with cyber as a service. But also I can tell you that whatever we have faced till today, all the attacks based on cyber, is almost nothing. And I'll give you some examples, because the main idea that brought me here was not to talk about Israel. We are making miracles in Israel. And we have been invested millions of dollars to make sure that our country will be one of the most protected countries in the world. Just to let you know, Uruguay has done some very important moves in cyber protection. There is the first Uruguay CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team. I've seen a lot of work being done by Deloitte. I've seen a lot of cybersecurity in Antel. You have a new organization coming to deal with cyber. That's good. It's not enough. When I was one of the founding members of the Israeli National Cyber Bureau, which is directly under the Prime Minister, we were looking at the civilian sector, and you are the civilian sector. I'm a part of the civilian sector, meaning we have to make sure that the people in the country will be secured, that their business will be secured. I spoke about the cars, but what about your business? There are so many bad guys that are trying just to take your money or just to take your IP, your intellectual properties, in order to make sure that in 2 days it will be manufactured in China or somewhere else, and this is all. So how do we protect us? How do we make sure that everything that can be done via cyber, and we hear about it all the time, I'll come to some of the verticals about it, is something that can be stopped? First of all, the answer is awareness. The answer is awareness, meaning what do I, as a private person, has to do in order to make sure that my privacy, my business, my security, my secrets are fully secured. And having that, said that, it means that you all have to look, first of all, and read any email that you are getting with a very suspicious eye, saying, why do I get it? You know that maybe you don't know it, and I'm not going to mention all the applications, but when you are having your phone on, there are so many applications that starts to update the manufacturers in China, in other places, about where you are, even if you didn't own the GPS. It starts to take pictures. You don't even know about it, so be careful. Most of the people dealing with computer or laptop at home, please put something on your camera. And for those of you who are dealing with the most sensitive or the new TV, the smart TV, make sure that also this camera is somehow with a small paper or something that you will not see everything. This is all cyber. When we hear about IoT, Internet of Things, what do we hear? We hear that today the refrigerator can attack the microwave. Okay, fine, this is nothing. I don't care if my refrigerator will start fighting with my microwave. But we start laughing, but then we hear about a big attack happened just about a month ago in the US on one of the biggest DNS company called Dyn, which suddenly took down small companies like CNN, Netflix, and all the others, used by DVRs and camera that are on the streets, not the Elbit camera that you have here on the security. Meaning, we are living in a beautiful era, but we have to make sure that we are protected. What are the verticals that we should be protected? And what happened in the world? What happened is that till today, most of the people used to deal with what we call IT security. What is IT security? Is data security. Make sure that there will be no leakage of your information, that one of your employees will not take this information and send it to his competitor. That's fine. But now we started to deal with life. We are dealing with our life, your life, and my life. Because if I'm going on a plane, and I'm sure that all of you heard, or most of you heard, about the guy who came with an iPhone, and through the infotainment system came directly to the engine, and with an iPhone, just shut off one of the engines. He could do it for the 4 engines as well. But so this is amazing. So we have cars, we have all the transportation, and for some of the people, most of you are very young, but in my age, for instance, some of the people are having already a kind of pacemakers, insulin pumps. What is this pacemaker? It is a computer, because the minute my doctor put this system into my body, my doctor would like to monitor me. My doctor is now in Mount Sinai University in USA, and he wants to monitor that the job that he has done is a good one, especially that I paid a lot of money out of here. And he's looking, and he's monitoring. How does he monitor me? By Wi-Fi. By Wi-Fi, I have an IP, Internet Protocol, number, so I became a computer. And from now on, anybody in the world can just hack into the system, I mean, not anybody, and decide that, okay, this guy, Rami Efrati, we don't know who he is, maybe we'll take him over, and at that time, he puts all the insulin in 1 minute. In the past, we were talking about attacking on hospitals that used to say, okay, if this leader from this country will come to have an X-ray, we will make it stronger, and he will suffer from cancer. Today, everything is personal, meaning that you are dealing with your own security. And it happened, have you seen Homeland? Yeah, when the vice president was killed using it. Listen, nothing is anymore a science fiction. When I was very young, and most of you know these movies, Die Hard 1, 2, 3, 4, we thought, wow, it's a beautiful movie. It will never happen to us. But it is happening. And it is happening today. By whom? Not by young people. If you are thinking about a 13 years old genius who is sitting in a computer midnight trying to hack into the nuclear project in one of the countries, no, it's not anymore. The latest thing that is happening, and most of you, I believe, felt it, is that today we are being attacked by criminals. So we are starting to hear about ransomware. I don't know how many of you, and I hope not so many, but it happens also in Israel every day. When you own your computer in the morning, usually you don't off it, which is a mistake, but let's imagine you own it in the morning and you get a beautiful message. Good morning, Montevideo. All your files are encrypted, and if you would like to open them again, you just have to pay us about 50 bitcoins, which you cannot somehow trace where they are. And if you are not doing it, and usually you are not doing it, I mean, usually you would like to do it because you don't have a backup. And if you have a backup, you have not tried to work with this backup because you usually say, like everybody, it will never happen to me. This becomes a big problem. And who is behind it? Behind it is a group which is using a special platform called the deep web or the darknet, which they make money out of this ransom. So they started with the regular people. It was only a pilot. Then they came to the hospitals, including in the US, and they encrypted the files, and nobody could do anything. And then they also put a rumor that maybe they will take all this private information and sell it in the market. And the same goes also for electric company. Today, you don't need to have a kinetic attack, meaning a missile or any kind of shooting to take down an electronic company. You can do it by hacking into the system, make the pressure much higher, and then it blow up. If most of you still think that Uruguay is not being attacked by cyber, I can tell you without even checking that you are already affected by the cyber, but most of you doesn't know about it. You're not the only one in the world. Most of the world is like that, meaning the attackers are using all kinds of malwares, Trojan horses, they call it today APT, Advanced Persistent Threats, that they have already installed it in your systems, sometimes because you bought a system which was already been installed while it was assembled. This is a cyber attack? No, because in cyber it's very quiet, so don't worry. You don't hear anything unless it happens. So most of the organizations are already being attacked, They don't know it. Usually, statistically, it takes about 6 months to identify, and another 1 year to take it over, or to take it out of their systems. So we are talking about communication. I see here antenna on the others. Communication is the main way how to get into your systems, because you are using the communication lines in order to send all these botnets. That's why you have decided in Uruguay to have the CERT as one of your first missions, which is amazing, very important. But what about energy, oil and gas, transportation, medical devices, financing? Nobody would like to see that suddenly the money was disappeared. I can tell you, by looking at what these darknet guys are doing, you are sitting in front of your computer, trying to communicate to your bank. You see your bank account, $40,000 or $100,000 is vanishing out of your eyes. You cannot identify it. It takes 30 days since anybody knows that it happened. You will still see it as if it is in the bank. It is already somewhere in Cayman Island, diving into the sea while people are dealing it. So just because I had only 15 minutes and I did it already, what should we do? What should we do in order to make it better? I believe 2 important words. One that I'm not going to discuss today, but it became a big issue in Israel, and we are very successful, is, of course, education. How do we educate the young generation and the older generation to deal with cyber? What kind of college, university do we have? Do we teach, like in Israel, cyber as a master degree for the last 5 years? If you will do it, you will have enough people to deal with cyber and make it a business opportunity like we have done in Israel. If you will come out with a mechanism how to support all the universities, all the research centers, by financing them to deal with cyber, you will have cyber research. You will have cyber people in several levels how to deal with it. So education, I'm not going to discuss further. It is one of the most amazing and important things to do when you deal with cyber, not today. But the second one is awareness. I believe that there are people here from financial institutes, from energy, from all over. Make sure that whenever you get an email, make sure that before you own it or you open it, make sure that you really know who is the sender. But one more thing, there is a new thing happening these days for the last 1 year. If your secretary is going to get an email from you, which looks exactly as it is, and somebody tells her, I mean, you, the boss, el jefe, tells her, you have to transfer $100,000 to this place, don't do it, because it is a fake. It's a kind of phishing. I'm not speaking now about phishing, which is P-H-S-H-I-N-G, meaning that you have, first of all, to train your employees to know if they get something, before they are doing anything, they have to ask. Second, I don't know if you have seen it, but I believe that you have got some emails from friends. For instance, from Ariel. You get an email from Ariel, a great guy, and he is sending you a message. You get an email saying, this is Ariel Pfeffer. I'm now in Punta del Este. Somebody took my money. Anybody got such an email? Please send me $5, and if all my friends will send me, I will be able to buy a new ticket back home. How did it happen? By the way, in Israel, usually we don't give the money because we have to be serious. So what do we care about him? Don't take it personally. So the idea is that somebody has already hacked into your system, found out all your files, including your contacts, and start to send spams and messages to your people. Second, you have to make exercises. You have to make exercises to make sure, okay, let's imagine that it happened. What are we going to do now? What is our next move? How we are going to work with the backup? Next one, you need to invest. Cyber is a big investment, because if you don't invest, you will find out that the money that you will have to pay for liabilities, if you're giving services, etc., is 10 times more than you have to do it. And a new business is coming now to the market, cyber insurance. I'm not going to elaborate on it. I spoke yesterday with a guy from AIG. This is a big issue. If you have a house, they know that you didn't have a fire, that the house is 20 years old, etc. But what is about cyber? Nobody has any experience about it. So how do we deal with cyber? So just to finalize, we are living in a beautiful era, so you can go and sleep very good, but be conscious. Make sure that whatever you are doing, you are taking into consideration that it is not real. Make sure that your privacy is not being compromised by taking care of your privacy. When you connect via your phone to the bank, make sure that at least once every 20 years, change your password. The best is to do it every 4 years. And I know nobody is like this, but usually some of the people in Israel, not here, they are using the same password on everything that they are dealing. On the computer and the mobile phone, it's the same, so they can remember it. So don't do it. Some of the people are not even using an antivirus, which is free. Do it. So there are so many things, and I believe that one of these things is the main role of the government. I'm not dealing today what is the role of the government, but in some things, it is mainly, in some activities, this is your responsibility. Some activities on the higher level, mainly on the communication level, is to be done by the government. So I wish you all good night. I thank you very much again for bringing me here, but I want you to be sure that before you are going back home, make sure that, or before you're coming to Punta del Este, off your computer. First of all, it saves energy, but also because while your computer is on, some of the bad guys are using your computer, and your computer, as a matter of fact, is not resting. He's working all night, sending spams to all over. And when you are able to identify something, you have to update the national cert. The national cert is the one that will tell you what to do. We'll come out with practices. All the rest is for another, I can speak for 2 days. But again, be happy. It's a beautiful world, but take care of whatever you are doing, because cyber and IoT and industrial IoT is not the future, it is the present. Thank you very much.